So how do you feel like guns are portrayed in the media?
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. The only thing that I ever see in the media every single day is gun violence. Gun violence. Gun violence this. Gun violence that. This person went to this school and shot up this, which is bad, but guns aren't always bad. Guns help protect innocent life every single day. But the media never cares to show any of that. The concealed handgun carrier that stopped a bank robbery, that stopped a family getting mugged.
Stopped more people from getting stabbed at UT.
Absolutely.
A couple of weeks ago. Last week.
Do they portray that? Do they show that? No, they don't. The media just wants to try and show everybody out there that's just so glued to their iPad, so glued to their iPhone, to their TV, how bad guns are made out to seem. They never show the positive. Every time there's ever a police-involved shooting where a black man dies, where it's an interracial deal that they blow it out to be something that's so bad, when at the end of the day, the police officer just wants to go home. The family just wants to go home. They didn't ask for the violence to be brought upon them. They just want to go home. They want to go home to their own families. The media just tries to put it in everybody else's head that, hey, we have to take these away. We have to take these weapons away, these assault rifles. We have to take these military style guns away. And that's not what it is. Yes, do we need to take them out of the hands of criminals? Absolutely. But do criminals obey the law? No. So why should they try to take it out of the law-abiding 9-to-5 blue-collar guy that's just trying to protect their family, that are just trying to protect their house, just like that kid that protected his house against 3 armed intruders. He got portrayed as the bad guy because they had a long rifle, or an assault rifle, as they call it. The media tries to flip it around to where, oh, well, he had the bigger gun, so he's in the wrong for having the bigger gun when those guys were just trying to break into a house, which to me that's unreal. I have no idea why they would try to flip it around to where he was the bad person and those 3 guys were just trying to break into somebody's house like it was okay. The guns and media have a completely different, I don't know the right word for it, but the way that the media portrays guns is not what guns are about. Guns are meant, like I've said, they're meant to protect. They're meant to protect. You don't go out looking for trouble. But if you're a law-abiding citizen and you have the right to have a concealed carry, or if you open carry, or whatever the case is, you have the right to defend yourself against somebody that does break the law, that has had a long criminal history. Obviously, if they're not going to obey because they already have them. And I mean, it's just a daily thing that I see, is that the media is trying to portray that guns are bad. Guns aren't bad. I've got a bunch of guns. None of them have harmed anybody because I'm a law-abiding citizen. And there's plenty of people out there that are the exact same way, that just want to continue to defend their Second Amendment or their rights or their state rights or whatever it is. They're just trying to protect themselves. And I feel wholeheartedly that there is such a bad rep on guns that it's just, You have to edit that out. That it's gotten to the point now to where I don't even turn on the news, because the next thing that I see is something like that happened in San Bernardino, or what's going on at UC Berkeley, or all of that stuff. It's police don't even want to get involved because they're going to be portrayed as the bad person, and that's 100%. That's I think in my own opinion, I think that's the media's fault. I just do, and I'll take that to my grave. That I'm here to protect myself and my family first, and my friends, and my house. And those are 3 or 4 very big things that I'm willing to die for. But to me, maybe if there was maybe just one little sliver of somebody doing something good, of a police officer stopping a bad guy, if there was just one sliver of good to combat everything that is evil, and to show that the person that is so anti-gun, anti-constitutional, whatever the case is, if there was one thing that could show, hey, they were just defending themselves. Again, I've said it many a time now, good people don't ask for bad things to happen to them. If you're willing to fight for it and you're willing to be a stand-up citizen, you should be able to protect yourself by all means. And if it comes to violence, I'm going to have the upper hand. And me having a weapon will do that, or having a firearm, or whatever. But if the media would just maybe show, I say good, not necessarily the good, but a concealed carry holder stopping a bad guy from something bad happening, like you said earlier with UT, like he did. Hey, where is that portrayed? Where is the stand-up guy that has done something positive? I say positive. Taking somebody else's life or shooting somebody is not something that you ever want to go through, ever. But stopping violence from happening before it gets way out of hand is way better than the negative. If you take away guns, criminals aren't going to say, okay, well, here you go, here's my gun. They're not going to do that. They're just not going to do it. Criminals are for a reason. They're criminals for a reason. They don't abide by laws. They don't care what the law has to say. They're willing to do whatever it is and whatever it takes to get their hands on whatever firearm, knife, whatever it is. They don't abide by the law. And if they do that, and the media says, hey, we need to take away y'all's guns, we need to do this, we need to, no campus carry. So you lock the door. What do you do then? Pray that the cops show up? Because they're going to eventually, after what? Killing innocent students because they don't have a way to protect themselves from somebody like that? The media says, hey, no, we don't need that. Well, I say the media, it's the left side that says that, but again, it's one of those things that just makes you so mad that the media says it's so bad. Well, it's not. I carry a weapon every day because I've done what I've needed to, and I uphold myself and what the law says, and it makes me so mad that the media says, no, we don't need this, you don't need that, we don't need to do this, and guns are so bad, and they do so much harm. Well, they don't. It's the person behind the weapon that does the harm. It's been said a million times, guns don't kill people. Bad people with guns kill people. But you're not going to take mine.
You mentioned the Second Amendment earlier, and going off that, do you think that taking guns away from people altogether is going to solve anything?
No, not at all. It won't solve anything. Because again, taking away my guns because the law says I have to, or else they're going to come beat down my door and take my guns away from me. Well, come and take them, because I'll be dead, because you're not going to take them. I have my rights. I have my freedoms. I have the means to do whatever I want to do. But taking away everybody's guns that the government knows about, or whoever it is that knows about it, that knows you have guns, the criminals aren't going to say, well, okay, you said we have to give them up. The only thing that's going to do is put more people in harm's way. And it's going to give a free pass to those people that don't care and easier access to do whatever they want to do. Well, if I get caught, I got to go to the pen. Well, I killed somebody. I'll be locked away for life. And their mentality is completely different than what my mentality is, because they don't care. I care. I care. They don't care. If the law says, hey, you can't have a gun, how many convicted felons go back in for a stolen firearm? A bunch. I don't know the statistics, but I know that it happens more often than not, especially, people that are affiliated with gangs or whatever the case may be, whatever it is. Taking away our guns is not going to ever solve anything. Now again, maybe better background checks, blah blah blah, whatever that is going to entail, whatever it's going to be. Stricter gun laws, like in California, where you're only able to have a 10-round magazine, versus here where you're allowed to have 30, and you have to have some sort of special tool to release the magazine. Look what happened. The criminals out there, the terrorists, they didn't care. They had it all. 30-round magazines. They had other people buying firearms for them. I mean, there's going to be a way that the criminals are going to know how to get their hands on weapons. And if you take them away from the good people, what is that going to do? Nothing. The world will run rampant with criminals that say, well, I know how to get my hands on weapons. I don't care what the law says. I'm going to do whatever I want and how I want, and I know that there's not going to be somebody else out there that's not going to be armed because they took them away. So there's not going to be anything good that would ever come from the government trying to take everybody's guns. And I wholeheartedly believe that.
There's non-political entities that without them probably would have taken the guns. The government probably would have taken the guns by now. But it's organizations like the NRA, which is the biggest non-political entity that influences politics in the nation. Mm-hmm. Without them, we probably wouldn't have access to or Second Amendment rights. What are your thoughts on that?
Support 100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I support the NRA. I know Donald Trump supports the NRA. And for that reason, I love that man. And I honestly, John, I don't really have an answer for that. Other than, I really don't. I have, my thoughts are on the NRA is that I'm a lifetime member. And that's, there's, my dad's a lifetime member. My mom's a lifetime member. And we support the NRA 100%. Because you're absolutely right. I mean, without them, they probably would have. But, I mean, my view on the NRA is that I fully entrust in what they do and what they say, and I support what they're there for 100%. I mean, I don't. That's what my stance on the NRA.
I believe that's all the questions I have for you. Before I turn the camera off, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, there's really not. Thank you for doing the interview. I hope I've done okay. Did I do good, Dad? Dad, did I do good?